Back in the early 70s, I'd just finished doing an MBA in London, and my wife and I decided to take a year off and get travel out of our system. We bought an old car in London with the idea that we'd drive it as far east as it would go. If it broke down, we'd leave it by the roadside and walk away. Well, we drove that car across Europe. We crossed the Bosphorus in Istanbul. At the time, there were no bridges across that division between Asia and Europe. We drove across Turkey. We drove into Iran. We drove through Iran into Afghanistan and eventually arrived in Kabul in Afghanistan, where we sold our car for a profit. We went on down to Pakistan, through Pakistan, India, up to Kathmandu, shadow of the Himalayas, back down into India, crossed to Bangkok. We hitchhiked from Bangkok down through Thailand, down into Malaysia, down to Singapore, took a ship over to Indonesia, traveled again by bus and train through Indonesia down to Bali, and eventually we hitched a ride on a yacht with some New Zealanders, which took us and left us on a beach at the northwest Cape of Western Australia. Hitchhiked across Australia, and we arrived in Sydney with precisely 27 cents left between us. We'd had so much fun, we decided, no, this wasn't a one-year trip around the world. It was a 3-year trip around the world. We'd work in Sydney for a year, we'd save up enough money to travel for another year. But during that year, so many people asked us about our travels in Asia, where we went, how we did it, where we stayed, what it cost, all those sort of questions that there was no information available for at the time. And we decided to write and publish a book about it. And that was the first Lonely Planet guidebook.